Tomb of the Spider Queen, the grand final. It's finally kicking off, and Exodia made it all the way to the grand final, ladies and gentlemen. And as a result, we see an insta-ban on Thrall. I like it. The Gremlins, obviously, with a stellar performance through the winner bracket. They've done a stellar job, honestly. Taking down the Kings in the fashion they did in the winner bracket. They had a bit of time to observe Exodia and really check all of this out. Now we're heading into the grand final, which is a best-of-7 series, and it's going to be a lot of cool shenanigans. We had amazing games in the tournament so far, and I want to see if Exodia is able to take it all now. It's actually really curious, because they did such a great job in the lower bracket, and defeated a couple of teams that they went up against previously and lost, but were able to overcome them. And against the Gremlins, they had an insanely close series in the winner bracket already. They lost it eventually, but it was a 3-2 victory for the Gremlins, and they were just barely able to edge out that victory. So we'll see how this is going to play out as we're heading into the first map of the series to see who's going to take lead here. So this one's going to be good. With the pinnacle rewards being slightly adjusted with a recent hotfix, the recent patch, we still have a big focus on Thrall, Kerrigan, and also Falstad. 2 out of those banned out as we're heading into Tomb. And as this is the first map, there could be some interesting shenanigans happening here. Keep in mind we have 18 heroes that are permabanned for the entire thing. And then on top of that, we have, of course, every hero that gets played moved outside of the draftable heroes. And it's going to get wild if we are heading to game 6 or even 7. But at a minimum, we're going to get 4 maps out of this. So even there, you have to already adjust your ban on pick patterns quite significantly. We're starting things off with Cassia. And let's see what exactly Exodia is going to do. They obviously played this series previously. So on the one hand, on the plus side, they're warmed up. The downside is that the concentration at some point might fade. Falstad and Urel is what they're grabbing. Rayquaza essentially has prioritized Urel whenever he can get her as much as possible. Usually, of course, he's somebody that plays tons of Blaze, but Blaze has been perma-banned. He was essentially one of the first side laners that got eliminated through the community vote. And with Falstad, you have now the Pinnacle quest that you can run. Muradin and Oriel on the side of the Gremlins. And I'm super curious to see how they're going to perform today. They put on a clinic against the Kings in the winner bracket final. And I want to see if we're going to see a similar performance right now against Exodia, or if Exodia is really going all the way with this one. That would be, yeah, pretty sick as well. I'm kind of hyped. We had so many cool games and so many back and forth matches that were just super tight. And given the series that the two of them played before, I would expect nothing but fireworks from this one either. So, once again, Maiev gets banned. Can't even remember when I've seen Maiev last time. We talked actually the other day about which heroes haven't been played in the tournament. There's one that I forgot. First of all, there is a chance, I can't even remember 100%, that Nova was played in one of the round-robin games. And I think she actually was. But if so, then only in a bit one of these side games. Valeera has been played, and nobody picked Kira until now. Those are the two that we haven't seen once. Murky has been chosen at least once now. And Anna gets banned out. Kind of interesting to tell you the truth. That's definitely one that I did not think would get banned out for game 1, but fair enough. We get Uther and Stitches. So already some isolation plays possible here for Exodia. We got Stitches Gorge, Falstad Gust. Could use Urel also to create some space. And an Uther with a follow-up stun after the Gorge is over. And over on the blue team side, now with the final 2 picks, we still need a side laner that deals with Urel. It's going to be Sadath on Leoric. And Nano with Tracer. Okay, Tracer in game number 1. Don't see her all that often either. But yeah, it's Tracer time. I expected a mage. Not gonna lie. Gul'dan obviously banned, but still, I could have seen Nano and Kel'Thas to just name one possible pick. But what exactly are we grabbing now for Exodia? Again, game number 1, grand final. We have a best-of-7 series on our hands. So let's get this party started. Tomb of the Spider Queen is our first map. And the final choice is Imperious to complete the triple front line. Let's go. The Gremlins in blue over on the left side. We got Simply on Muradin. Banana H is playing Oriel in game number 1. We get Gavlo on Tracer, so we swap things over with Nanu, who's now playing Cassia. And Sadath on Leoric. It is a frequent flyer again that we're getting for Falstad this time with Dino. We had the Lightning Rod build played a few times, but Falstad now back to the auto attacks here. With Imperius played by Hazu, Yazu on Uther, Dequaza on Urel, and last but not least with Hungry for more on level 1, we get Porky on Stitches. So, yeah, seems like Porky is going to play the entire day and also the grand final for the red team. So, no Benny, Porky subbing in, and Benny apparently unavailable. But Porky has been doing an absolutely amazing job. Obviously, cross-server play from him, from the US. So shout out to him for playing with the ping disadvantage. And he's been crushing it for the team. Specifically when we're talking a losers bracket final and his performance, there are some absolutely spectacular plays. And he's been a huge asset to the team. So I think they're going to be very thankful that he was able to move in and fill the slot. By now, we're having also Banana fighting it out on Urel, so it's time for a couple of whips into the wall. Hook missing at the top as Muradin is just juking them out slightly. Falstad is already getting nice stacks together, and it's of course made a bit easier here on the map as well. You can just rotate from one lane to another to get a couple of additional minions killed, and this makes things easy to complete that and maybe even get to that pinnacle quest reward, especially of course considering that we're typically finding ourselves in a situation where this lasts a little bit longer. Tomb of the Spider Queen is a map where we sometimes see a heavy snowball that ends the game quickly, but there are also a lot of long drawn-out games that are just resulting in back and forths where a pinnacle quest reward could be accomplished on such a talent. So we'll see, time will tell. For now though, what we're getting is the attack over in the middle. Teams starting to take the mercenary camps. Red team has so far not moved in for that. And Exodia is already doing pretty okay here. We haven't seen a kill yet, but the defense was okay, losing part of the wall, I suppose. Stacks, especially for falls, that are coming together. And one hero that is not going to like those auto attacks and the damage that comes with them whatsoever is, of course, Tracer. Gafler has to be very careful with this. Not only the stuns that are being used by Exodia, but also the auto attack damage from Falstad if he is able to claim more and more damage through the rewards that he gets with frequent flyer. And we'll see how fast this is going to come together. Can dodge a lot of skill shots. Can't dodge auto attacks. That's just not a thing. So yeah, has to be careful with that. But okay. Now, as all of this continues, we're having in the middle the quick attack coming through from the red team. They still haven't taken their mercenary camp on the right side. And now seeing the push towards the middle as everybody is just trying to get themselves some additional gems. Hoping, of course, to also get stacks whenever possible. That's especially true for someone like Stitches with globe stacking and Falstad. Stitches is now sitting at 8 globes as is. And I think it could become a little bit tricky for the Gremlins later. I'm honestly looking at Falstad, Stitches, and this could be tough for the blue team. Now, they played a very successful tournament, so we'll see how that draft works out for them. But they're just nibbling around the edges here, and thus far at least it doesn't seem to intimidate Exodia at all. Nano with the attempt at turning in his gems and is delivering all of that, so yeah, good for him. Down at the bottom of the map. Careflo just not... basically just moving a little bit to the side and unimpressed by that hook, just scrubbing the skin of his face a little bit. Falstad at 62 stacks already. And we're only 3.5 minutes in, and the blue team gets the first objective. So they're off to a great start on at least Web Weavers. What can they accomplish with them? That still has to be seen. For now, we're seeing a bit of an attack coming through at the top with another hook. And the follow-up on Oriel. Banana H low and still alive. Good for them. Nothing worse than getting your turn in and then losing instantly a hero, so that your opponent gets the freest defense in the universe. Level 7 talents ready. That gives us also the empathic link. Yeah, well, Muradin is zoning them as best as he can. Is now going for Skullcracker. And Leo is already pressuring Dequaza at the bottom of the map. Breaking through that wall. Dequaza with 23 gems. So that's a ton here. He gets strained quite a lot, but it's the top lane where most of the blue team's heroes are pushing and are trying to do their thing. With Hazu in a corner, and he gets killed even though he's able to move past the wall. And that wall is now dust. That's a lot lost. Another whip into the... Honestly, these whips from Banana Age, so many good support plays this tournament. It's so nasty. And we've seen this actually from Banana Age on Oriel in the series against the Kings in the winner bracket final already. It's just one whip after another with isolating targets, getting them stunned out into a wall, and then the follow-up is always immediate and brutal. So it helps them to get the first blood in the game 5 minutes in. So it takes 5 minutes for them to get the kill, but they are able to eliminate the fort. And now down at the bottom of the map, they're getting number 2. Meaning that with the first objective, they're taking 2 forts out. That's honestly crazy. That's honestly just crazy that they're able to pull that off. 2 forts eliminated thanks to that. So, yeah. That was pretty good. That was insanely good, honestly. So, we'll see if they can do more, if they can follow up on that. They have already leading experience and are closing on level 10. If they can, with heroic abilities, control the turn-in points, get themselves a second set of web weavers, and then maybe destroy a few more structures, then hey, even better. But they're not there yet, but they're now pushing through the middle with the mercenary camp, and again, they're about to hit level 10 abilities. So the timing is perfect. I mean, honestly, it couldn't be better timed, this push. The camp arrives just as they are ready with heroics. Mirrodin has to jump out, but there's the Valkyrie. The red team is defending with everything that they have, and you gotta give credit to Exodia. They're doing a great job thus far. But in comes the Entomb. Also still fine, and they're holding on to the fort and are not even losing a hero. So kudos to them. That was well done. Well defended, considering that there were no heroic abilities for them. And now they're working on the turn-in, which has so far been interrupted. And the fight continues, and the bird, Dino, low, and Tracer not ready to get the kill. Dino with 117 stacks, by the way. He is going to complete that quest. He's going to complete that quest 100% if he keeps this up. He's 32 away from getting the second quest reward. So, yeah, big one. But there's the turn-in, and this is exactly what I said earlier. If they can control the turn-in point, they might be able to get 2 in a row. They have the gems, but they weren't diligent enough to turn everything in. So now the red team is trying to turn this around up at the top. Gavlo is the one that would have to rotate down to the bottom of the map and try and get the turn in there. Stitches on 18 stacks. Not bad, actually. Yeah, Hook is in. No Gorge so far. No Gorge Gust that we're getting. 38 to 37. Turned in. And there's the red team completing it. Red team completes the turn in. 130 stacks for Dino. And on the damage side, as the web weavers are coming down, we have the top damage for Cassia. So Cassia has the top damage in the game currently. But let's see how much the red team can now do. With 2 forts destroyed, the passive experience gains are obviously significant. If they can even get just 1 fort, that would already help them to slow that down. Uther had the Divine Shield himself here. Great engage from Leoric with the Entomb, so that's one important ult already used. And I'm not sure that they can get themselves a fort here. So far, it seems like the defense is actually set up very, very well. Top side, no chance. Down at the bottom of the map, Leoric is doing a great job. And in the middle, they will break through. But they should soon face off against 5 players on the blue team side that are going to try and defend this. So this is not going to be all that easy. But maybe. Inspire buff already triggered on the minion wave. So they're able to get that. By now, the Web Weaver nearly gone. Stormbolt, Mirrodin moving in. They go for Dequaza. 41 gems. 20 on Stitches. Lots of gems there. And what about Mirrodin? Mirrodin, no ult. Tries to get out and gets murdered. Ult wasn't able to save him here. Valkyrie gets used, but I do not think that they can get a counter kill like this. And the fort in the middle has indeed been destroyed. If they would have not been pushing, they wouldn't have lost these 2 champions, and they wouldn't have lost their fort either. So, yep. Great from Exodia to take advantage of this. So Exodia is able to get themselves 2 kills and get also a second turn-in as a follow-up. 150 stacks now for Dino, which means that the second quest reward has kicked in. So he's now looking at some sweet damage. 70 extra damage in total. And of course the question is now, how quickly is he going to get to the 300 to complete it and fully follow up on this. Also, great for Exodia to get that second turn in. They had a lot of gems still in their hands. If you lose one of those heroes, you lose 40 gems. So them safeguarding them is great. But there is still a lead in experience for the Gremlins. So that's still a thing. Gremlins are still ahead in XP. Banana Age moving away from the hook and dodging it. Push at the top still continues. And how much can they do here? I think they should be able to at least eliminate one additional fort. Gorge. Yeah, they try for the gust. And this time they're not walking away with the kill. Not that easily. But Tracer isn't here, Leo isn't here, so they have to ensure that they can walk away from it. And the hook on Banana Age. No chance. Eeg is used. Not sure if that was even worth it. He can buy some time, but there's no cavalry coming. There's nobody coming that can save him. So that's kill number 3 now for Exodia. And they're on a tear. Another hook from Porky. I mean, damn son, you're playing with the ping disadvantage. Somebody has to tell him that, because apparently he doesn't know. So Porky lands one hook after another and is able to lead the team to 2 more kills. And they are knocking down the keep. They're going for the keep and they're just attacking it with full force. A catapult backing them up from behind. And that is likely going to be... Nah, they're not going to get the structure right away. But this is still amazing for them. Taking a keep down to 30% of its HP at the 11-minute mark in the grand final is awesome. Just with a second objective. So now it's 4 versus 5. Cassie isn't here yet, but there's another Gorge. They're gusting. They're trying to isolate Muradin. Stun is out. Simply pushed into the wall again. And he is getting saved by the Aegis. The Divine Shield on Imperius, though, leads to the kill against Muradin regardless. But it comes at a price. They had to use the Divine Shield and they also lost Imperius shortly after. Still 5 kills versus 2. The keep, thankfully, for the blue team still standing. Gavlo trying to turn in, but not that easily. Exodia is following up. 200 stacks for Falstad and 30 stacks for Stitches. Porky with now 750 extra HP that he's running as they're going for the camp here. So huge plays that are being made here. Absolutely fantastic plays from both sides, but specifically the hooks that we're getting from Stitches are just amazing. So down at the bottom of the map, Falstad now has to take the global and has to try and take control of the situation as best as possible. We have 16 versus 16 now, which means Benediction is, for example, in. The blue team gets another set of Web Weavers. We have them with the Reservoir of Hope on the side of Oriel and then Dwarf Launch for Muradin. Falstad with Airy Gust. 218 stacks. He's 82 short, 80 short at this point, and then he will get even more attack damage. And the damage output of Falstad is currently already at 40,000, so he's the top damage dealer for the team. By quite the margin. I mean, he's also the only range damage dealer, so let's not forget about that. And Imperius is typically putting big numbers out too, and he's sitting at 30,000, so it's not bad. Cassia has 47k. Again, the attack in the middle. Sada through the Entomb. And the ult from Hazu went nowhere. Top side, though, yeah, they are still pushing here. 2 forts have been destroyed, and now the Web Weavers are starting to knock down the fort walls. But there's not really a structure that Exodia lost to this push. The Gremlins are all of a sudden running more or less into a wall. They're trying to break through the fort in the middle, and they just can't. It gets defended over and over again. Dino is capitalizing on all of these plays by just burning down minions and getting more stacks for himself. So as long as they're not losing a lot of ground here, he is going to become stronger and stronger. And as I said before, Tracer in particular is not going to like that at all. Tracer's kind of allergic against auto attacks. At least against ones that do a lot of damage. Let's put it like that. Tyrael, for example, that usually hits like a wet noodle, she's not really too worried about. Same goes for Anduin. Crybaby thankfully not making an appearance in the tournament here. Was banned out immediately. Good riddance! That's why you didn't notice so much crying in this tournament right now. Urel, on the other hand, well, she had a reason to cry because she couldn't use her ult. So that means that Urel is gone. That's kill number 3 for the Gremlins. Can they get something with that? They have enough gems for a turn-in, technically. Numbers advantage. I don't think they're going to make a play for the boss, but if they can get another turn-in, maybe they can finally get rid of that nasty fort in the middle. It's been a long way coming, of course. Yeah, 3 kills to 5. over on the right side. Oh, starting to make their play there. And off we go. Blue team has web weavers, and they are actually committing to the boss regardless. Stitches is going to try that hook. Leo is attempting to block it. I mean, if Leo gets caught, they're not worried too much. But this was a bit telegraphed. So, yeah. Hook is in and insta-dodge. Brilliant play by Sadath. I mean, yes, he knew obviously was coming. He was anticipating it. But that was perfectly played. Divine Shield now had to be used too. So they get both. They get the boss, they get the web weavers. Stitches lands the hook on Leoric, who eats it. Just goes into the Ghost Walk here, and now they can go for the fort in the middle and maybe even get more damage against the topside structures. So, yeah, it's party time. Leading experience still goes to the Gremlins. How much can they do right now? If they can eliminate a keep here, that would go a long way. Leo is getting the fort in the middle. That is a foregone conclusion. There's absolutely no doubt about that. The question is more so what's happening at the top. Boss and Webweaver straight for the core here. Oh, sorry, for the keep first. Don't think they're going to go that fast. But Dino's in trouble and is finally down. Muradin gets gobbled up. They're trying to eliminate him. Simply should be able to escape, but damn, they're really isolating him heavily. Holy crap. So he's still jumping out, but Banana H is all of a sudden left alone. The team has to save him. The problem is that the core is now under attack, and that's a problem, a massive problem for Exodia. They're going to lose a lot here. Their keep in the mid lane will probably fall one way or another, but they could lose the game here. The core is down to 60%, and they have lost Falstad. Falstad at 250 stacks, and that's all that the Gremlins needed. They come in and ruthlessly exploit the situation and claim the lead in this series. GG, and well played. We're going to head in game number 2 in a second. Guys, if you enjoy the content, if you like the coverage here, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. It really helps to spread the videos to people that were interested in Heroes of the Storm in the past and might rejoin the game. So spread the love a little bit, help to promote the games here, like and subscribe, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the series. Battlefield of Eternity! Draft is going initially a little bit faster because one pick was made that was banned out, so they apparently, most of the teams are running an Excel sheet to remember which heroes are available, which ones aren't, and somebody apparently didn't fill that in properly, so they accidentally picked Oriel, and now we're just restarting the draft. But either way, we're now having the Gremlins in the lead. Great performance by them. That entire setup at the top lane was amazing on Tomb. They first got themselves the Web Weavers, then they went for Boss, were able to block the hook with Leoric, got a kill, followed it up with a kill on Falstad later on, and it just snowballed the entire thing towards the keep and core, and they took the lead now. So, great performance by them. They're exploiting opportunities whenever they present themselves. They've been doing that throughout the entire tournament with huge success. So, kudos to them. We get Ana and Diablo as the early picks here after Li Ming was taken, which first of all takes Ana away from Li Ming, but it also gives them the chance to use a nano boost for Nano, assuming that he is going to play a mage here, which he typically does. Karazim and Rexa follow it up. So they go for the Bald Boy instead of Oriel. Again, that's what they accidentally picked last time that we ran through the draft, and obviously since Oriel was played and can't be played again, that triggered a restart of the draft. So the 18 heroes down here banned for the entire tournament, and the 10 that were played on the last map are unavailable for this one too. So let's see what they can pull off. Battlefield of Eternity, we got bans on Thrall as well. Thrall has been a high priority pick for Exodia ever since the Pinnacle Quest patch came in. So I would think that the Gremlins ban him out in every single game where the red team has first pick. My personal assumption. We'll see if that holds true or not. Anubarak and Malthael now both banned out too. And let's see what the blue team is now going to do. Specifically, of course, to capitalize on Ana. They can come in with a mage, and there's still a couple available that would be really nice here on Battlefield as well. Specifically if they're, well, they're going actually into an interesting style. Tyrael, more of an aggressive side laner position for him right now, and we're going Sul'jin. Alright, so Diablo, Tyrael are currently being played here. That actually also whittles the numbers down of frontliners a bit for potential later games, so keep that in mind. With this being a best of 7, even if it doesn't go to a 7th map and only, let's say, game number 5, that's huge. That is really putting pressure on main tanks and also side laners to an extent. the more triple frontliners we see, the more so that holds true. And especially when we're having some main tanks used in a side laner position. So Suljin is going to get a lot of assistance there. We have Arthas and Greymane on the other side. So you're running Arthas as the main tank and then Rexa on the side lane, played by Dequaza. That leaves us with Nano and the obvious question on what he's going to go for. Are we going to get that mage that Ana can fully capitalize on, or how are they going to play this out right now? Game number 2, Gremlins have already taken the lead. Let's find out if they can extend this further. We get a double support here with Stukov getting locked in. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Battlefield of Eternity, Exodia going up against the Gremlins. Game number 2, it is Battlefield time. Let's go. So, over on the left side, simply on Diablo. Bananas playing Ana because Ana's pretty bananas unless it runs out of mana. Gavlo on Stukov, Nano on Tyrael, and Sadath on Suljin, going straight for Recklessness on level 1. So, double support for them too, putting more pressure onto that support pool too, which is going to be pretty important for this series. On the right side, we got Exodia with Porky on Arthas, Hazu on Rexa, Dino's playing Liming, which means that Dequaza is now the one that we find on Greymane, and Yasu is playing Karazim. So they're going full 4-man at the top, and Tyrael is definitely going to cry for help in just a moment, because they are burning some structures down. Either they rotate topside to defend, or they are going to attack at the bottom of the map, and it seems that help is on its way. So yeah, they're rotating top with most of their heroes. The double support is really interesting here. I mean, obviously on the damage side, they are heavily speccing into Suljin now. He gets the shield from Tyrael, some extra support. Then we have the double healer. And double healer in this as a best of 7 series is going to make this pretty crazy. Because I talked a little bit about what happens when you play triple frontline the entire time. Especially if you're playing double tank as frontlines. You are putting pressure onto that side laner and especially the main tank pool. But it's even more so when we're seeing double supports. We're going to run out of supports here eventually. It's going to happen in this series. But look how aggressive the red team is. I actually like the approach that they're taking. They're just rotating around the blue team, and they're going to take a keep down here. Or well, at least going to get it low enough that it will be eliminated very, very soon. We have instantly Karazim dishing back out. Half of the hit points of the fort are now lost. I think I just called it a keep. So yeah, 4 down, and up at the top lane, this is starting to stabilize things a little bit at least. But they're just now rotating up towards the next. So they're just going to play this ring around the rosy game. They're trying to go in and see if they can take the wave down, push their own minions in, maybe steal a mercenary camp every now and then. But it's all about getting Greymane into position and taking some structures apart. And it's working. Li Ming, Greymane, they're both taking the tower down. They're applying pressure to the blue team, which is now forced to just rotate from one lane to another, and they're already back to their usual shenanigans, rotating down to the bottom of the map now. So this is a really, really weird one. Sadath, he on the other hand is going to try and get stacks in against Misha in particular. So as long as Hazu is just sitting there and feeding him Misha, feeding Misha to the trolls, that means that Sadath is going to get some extra auto attack damage in for later on in the game, which is obviously the go-to here. They're going to try to get into that late game situation where they can then fully capitalize on all of this. Run that single target damage and just beast it up. We'll see if that's going to work out for them or not. Down at the bottom of the map now, Rexa holding his own solo for the time being. And over here at the top lane, we're still getting the attack just continuously doing a thing. Sadath, obviously, just stacking, went on level 4 into the Armani hide. And for Arthas, we have more of a bruiser build. He went straight into Icy Talons. So we're gonna get Rune Tap on level 7 for him. Bruiser style for Arthas. Porky, yeah, he's going to try and get also control of Greymane, but this is an interesting style for them to use here. I actually didn't expect that. They get a kill on Suljin, so really, really nice start. Greymane in particular, I mean, Dequaza is absolutely murdering it. It's just nasty how good that guy is. Dequaza had a bit of a break as far as I know, but he is just crushing it right now. He's been playing an amazing side laner the entire time, not only in this series, but also in the previous match that they played, the loser bracket final. Now he's playing the damage dealer for them, and it's working out beautifully. At least for the first 4 minutes of the game. They get first blood with that kill. They got a lot of structural damage, and now they get a massive shield on the Immortal. The Gremlins don't know what's happening to them. The Gremlins are honestly sitting there and just like, team, what's going on here? They were going for this interesting draft with the double tank, double heal, really banking all of the damage numbers onto, it's maybe not quite fair, on Suljin, but typically what we're seeing is also Tyrael with a decent amount of damage, and currently that's the case. He's sitting at the same numbers that we're getting from Suljin. So if you play Tyrael very aggressively with a proper build, you can obviously get good numbers for him too. But the main source will still be Suljin. That's what they're hoping for here. Gavlo in play. Well done. But Li Ming is going for the kill, gets the reset, and now they're taking down Diablo. And all of a sudden, we're talking 3 kills to 0. We're talking essentially a level advantage. They have a talent lead for now. They take the top fort out. At the bottom of the map, the attack is also starting to yield results, of course. So the red team is out of the first objective, getting 2 forts. That's basically what's happening here. They're rotating down right now, and they're going to take that fort out too. Suljin went on level 7 straight for the Arcanite access. And they need to stack this very, very quickly. I was, by the way, wrong. They're not getting that fort. Well, the minions actually might. It's gonna be close, but I suppose they're just barely saving it. You can easily take that later. Nano is low, but they cannot take him down this time. There's a huge onslaught now from Exodia. I mean, they're getting mega, mega aggressive around this. And they should. The faster they can end this, the better for them. The one thing they want to prevent is Suljin to fully escalate. And Suljin is getting stacks in, not only on his baseline, where he now has the range increase, but he has obviously his level 7, which is also going to work quite well for him as this continues. Arthur survives, so he doesn't go down. Dino, though? No way. Dino gets away, too. This feels a little bit memey. Fantastic escape, of course, from the red team. They're going to be very happy with this. Both of them escaping, Arthur's and Li Ming. But for the blue team, I don't think they're going to like this too much. They're going to be sitting here thinking, you got to be kidding me, right? Like, all of them escaped. We didn't get one of those kills. Would have helped them a lot to close the gap in experience a bit. 17 stacks now for Suljin and 6 on his Arcanite access, and the fort is down. So 2 forts are gone. That is going to give Exodia a pretty neat lead in XP. Level 10 will be ready for the next objective, and the blue team is not going to have access to that yet. They have still experience that they can grab at the top, so that's nice. But I am not so certain how much this is going to help them. So currently we have level 10 ready. That brings us to disintegrate. Goes for Calamity, so not sure if he's really committing to... I don't think he's going to commit with that to Glass Cannon like he did previously. Suljin attacked, still fine, and is stacking. They want Arthur's. A little bit of a late target switch. Was attacking Misha before. Arthur's is a bit low, but might still be able to escape. Nano's body blocking him hard, and that should be the end. But they stopped attacking! They didn't go for him anymore because the red team was coming to Arthur's rescue. And let's not forget, there's still that level 10 advantage, so they didn't want to fight in an open battle against them. Suljin at least gets the stacks. He's at 24 and 11 now. But it leads once again to the red team trying to grab Immortal number 2. Now Judgment is out and is instantly used. They want the kill here on Greymane, and their Quasar is low, but they cannot take him down. Greymane finally gets eliminated as Tyrael didn't let up on it and just jumped straight in. Now they're going with a wall stun for Karazim, who is able to escape initially, gets away and is murdered. Ana with the damage over time. Karazim is dead. Greymane is dead after level 10. The entire dynamic here has flipped a little bit, and the Gremlins are finally gaining some ground. They send Stukov back to deal with the top lane push before it damages the keep. So 2 kills for the Gremlins. And the blue team now with a chance to get some hits in. Guillotine, by the way, for Sadath. So he did not go into the other thingy, into their Stingo. 31 stacks, and the double swing on the Arcanite axis now, and they win the objective. Exodia has been pushing this insanely aggressively. Exodia has been coming in and just pushing. really, really doing work and hoping to gain an enormous amount of momentum to just take down the Gremlins, choke them out here, apply pressure. But now there's a chance for the Gremlins to bring this back. Suljin is getting the stacks that he needs. He has the 25,000 damage right now. And we have him, of course, with those twin blades. Oh, well, not really twin blades, you know what I mean. With the Arcanite axes doing work. The flank onto Ana was great, though. And that's exactly what the team needs right now. The counter kill doesn't come through. Suljin dies, even with his guillotine. That's obviously a choice that's always a little bit questionable. The guillotine was really worth it. And he is losing stacks too. So he lost stacks and is now back to 29. Which means that he doesn't have the double cleave anymore. That's a bit of a setback here. Exodia hasn't given up. I mean, Exodia was obviously set back slightly with the last Immortal being won by the Gremlins and by everything else that played out. But now we're seeing the blue team maybe overly aggressive. The double kill, though. Diablo. Fire and Fury, baby. The lightning breath over here. Beautiful. And now they're going for Porky. And Arthas is dead. Triple kill. Exodia got too greedy. They wanted the camp, but the death timers were a bit too low. And the blue team were able to use that to their full advantage. Now we have both of them on level 13 talents. 6 kills to 6, and it is just so close right now. Absolutely clutch over here. And yeah, pretty fantastic. Let's see who's going to be able to claim this one now. This could be a wild one. Up at the top, we have Nano still dealing with the waves. That side lane Tyrael play that we've now seen for the entire game. And played by Nano is obviously pretty funny as well. Not really the hero that you would associate with him in a game like this. But yeah, it's grand final time. They're busting out all the stops here. 21 stacks for Arcanite axes now. They are starting to jump towards the top, and Suljin will try to stack this a bit further so that even if he dies, they can make some moves. Nice interplay with him using his ensnare and then trying to use guillotine. But against Karazim, it's always a bit of a question mark, of course, because he has the mobility to easily dash out if there is a target nearby, and he was able to escape. But still, decent damage for now. Their next Immortal is up, though, and the red team was ready. Straight up on the spot, nearly winning the halftime show just from the positional perspective alone. So, by now, 31. Suljin can still make the moves here. 32,000 damage for him. They go again for Misha. Maybe take her down here. Arthas is also moving towards the top. Has gone into a more aggressive build, as already mentioned earlier. And they win the halftime show. So the red team, Exodia, they take... they take the 50%. What about Arthas here? Is blocked and gets killed by Diablo. Lightning breath a little bit too much for him to handle, even with the army of the dead. So that's the end of Arthas. One of the frontliners gone. By the way, I should probably point out that I was wrong with my prediction of the level 7 talent. Usually when you're going for icy talents as level 4, Rune Tap is the inevitable follow-up. But in this case, we got Icebound Fortitude. So it's going for a little bit of a weird hybrid that we're having here. So Icebound Fortitude is in. Gives him more survivability, of course. Not that it really helped them in that last encounter. Greymane stunned out. Yeah, Judgment is in. They want him. And they're gonna get him. Greymane gets murdered. Ana is dead too. Li Ming doing work. That's really Dino with this integrate now popping off multiple times. And they lose out on the Immortal, but it's still a very, very small shield for the blue team. So Exodia took the initial advantage, but they're losing too many heroes was definitely starting to become a big problem for them. Suljin very heavily focused on getting the Immortal for the team, so it's not like he was able to get himself a lot more stacks in those last few fights. He's at least on 34 for the baseline now, so even if he dies once, he's not going to lose the double swing again, which is of course one of the things that he's going to try and build up very aggressively. Since they have level 16 now, that also means he can even build more into it with wrong place, wrong time. And it should allow them to get a fort at the bottom of the map now. So 16 is ready for both, which gives us also Mirror Ball. But, yep, they're gonna get the fort. So one fort finally destroyed on the red team side too. More damage for Karazim as they're coming in with the damage. Again, the ult from Suljin, and it does nothing, and he dies a moment later. So does Tyrael, and they're going for Simply and drop him too. Again, I think Guillotine is a shit ult. I really don't like it too much. If you're winning the game already by teeing up the target, fair enough. But in a game that is clutch, you get so much more out of Tastingo, especially after you hit level 20. You might at the beginning not really save Sul'jin so much, but you might get a counter kill, and then once level 20 is in, it's a totally different story. So they haven't been able to do anything with Guillotine. Guillotine was essentially a zero value thing so far. 10 kills to 9. Kudos to Exodia though. It was a very, very nice counter attack, and they lost one fort, but then they got some kills in. So now they're holding on to a 1 level advantage again, which is of course quite neat. But Sul'jin just keeps stacking. He's losing, of course, some of the baseline stacks at least. When you use your ult as a farming tool, then you know that something is not going all that well. I'm a little bit harsh here because the cooldown is obviously not that big, so doesn't really mean anything if you use it in that situation. But it kind of fits considering that he hasn't gotten any more value out of it in other situations here. Diablo getting caught and is simply dead. Gone within seconds. Didn't have his stacks either. So now the Immortal will spawn, and it's probably a free halftime show for Exodia, since the red team is not, the blue team is not going to have access to their main tank on this one. So yeah, that's the downside here for now. 11 kills to 9, and let's see how much can they get here. They're still fielding a defense. They have Judgment, of course. With Nano, he can push them back a little bit. If they can use this as a more of a skirmish and allow, for example, Sul'jin to at least stack, that would be nice. And he's at least getting a few connects with his Arcanite access. And those in particular are, of course, quite neat. Even if you die, you don't lose any of the stacks there. But the halftime show, as expected, has gone over to the red team. So now they have an advantage. Diablo is back. Can Exodia get this one? They're actually going for their camp first. But Diablo's back to business now. And we'll see how much he can do now. They need to try and turn this one around. It's a really crazy second game. I mean, it's only game number 2 that we're looking at here. So ult used from Rek'Sai. He starts engaging into the fight. Diablo goes deep. 7-sided strike. Dodges it easily. And big stacks for Arcanite access. Especially with Misha around being around there too. That's an extra body that you can stack off. And they're using that to their advantage over and over again. Greymane now also dropped. And they're pushing Arthas back even though he doesn't die. Simply was pushing Dino around the entire time during that fight. And it allowed them to walk away with a kill. Lots of stacks for Sul'jin, which is neat. He got 8 stacks on his baseline. And even more on his level 7. So he's building that damage. They need to deal with the top lane though, because that keep is not going to survive if they don't send someone back. And it actually seems like they're willing to lose it. Which is a bit crazy when you think about it. They're safeguarding their own Immortal, and now Sadath is getting attacked, gets their heals, and makes it out of the fight. Karazim eats a few hits, Arthas is the big target, and this time we're getting a bullseye connect from the Guillotine. 11 kills to 11. 22 kills in total, but the top keep is eliminated. That's a huge loss now for the Gremlins. Yeah, and Sadath, obviously, he takes the Immortal down slowly, or at least is trying to. Karazim is coming in, and that's a kill. Yep, he's going to get him eventually. Sul'jin is gone. Punched down by Karazim as the rest was defending at the top, so now they lost the Immortal too. 51,000 damage for Sul'jin, it's not enough. Li Ming is dead though. They got a counter kill. Worst actor in the universe is feigning his death and is now getting eliminated. So that's Rek'Sai gone. With 2 down, that means that the Immortal is probably going to be stopped before it eliminates the keep. I mean, it's essentially 3 down because Arthas died earlier, and he's just now coming back. I don't think he's going to be there in time. But still, taking down Sul'jin was pretty impactful and a really nice move. So good for them. 66,000 damage for Li Ming. She's the top damage in the game. Sul'jin can obviously build his damage further as all of this continues. But it's still a bit problematic that he is dying so easily. Without Sul'jin, they don't have a lot of damage here. They're trying and they will save the keep, but it's slow. And 1 keep has been lost. I mean, let's not forget about that. 1 team is on 20. The other one will pick up that final talent soon. We get the Legion of Northrend this time, plus Fists of Legend. And it's essentially now coming down to the question, what are we getting from the red team? Tal Rashas, and we get kill command on the other side. Buzz Saw, 7-sided strike on Gavlo. Buzzsaw's not doing too much here. Cooldown again, not too high. Hellgate used to. Judgment upgraded. We're getting top off from Stukov. The double support has kept them in play in some of these situations. But still, it's 12 kills to 13. So it's not like there was a lack of kills for Exodia because of the sustain that we're seeing for the Gremlins. And we'll see. Down at the bottom of the map, Gavlo is still defending. I have no idea who's going to win this, by the way. They have been so dead even the entire time. The one part where Exodia just excels is, of course, structures. But that doesn't mean anything if, for example, later on you lose on a really important Immortal in the late game that hits like a truck and can easily just go through Fort Keep and go all the way towards the core. So late game is super important here as well. Death timers are rising, the Immortal is scaling hard. And if Suljin, for example, gets to a point where he does enough damage in these choke point battles, where his axes just start cleaving, and he's able to use the auto attacks to take 2 or 3 targets down, then this can still be turned against Exodia. Game number 1 was a bit of an example of this. In game 1, the red team had momentum, and then it was taken away from them, turned against them, and all of a sudden, the Gremlins have the victory. So now we finally have them both with a 5-man on the map as the Immortal spawn. No head start for Exodia. And let's see how the Gremlins play it. We got at the front Arthur still waiting this out. Nano, super annoying, of course. Jumping in and out with Teriel the entire time. Everybody's just poking a bit. But there's also a double catapult at the top now. You gotta essentially take the catapults out. Shaman as well. Sadath does it really, really quickly here. So they don't lose too much time, but there is still an opportunity for Exodia to go towards the Immortal and get a bit of damage done. Oh, flip into the Immortal stun! And there's Judgment. They popped a lot, but they couldn't get the kill. Couldn't get the kill. Misha is gone, but they really pressured Porky there. Trying for Rexa. Feign Death already used. Yasu, wall stun! And he goes straight in for the 7-sided strike. Is able to dash out, but is he able to escape? Because Nano is on him. Nano is on him, they want him, and they just can't get that kill. Judgment wasn't back up, and Snare being used, and Hazu is dead. Hazuops is dead, Rexa is eliminated, and Suljin keeps stacking, stacking, and stacking. 50 and 53 stacks now. And especially with the level 7, it's only going one direction. So, top side, double catapult, should be dealt with. Halftime show victory for the Gremlins. 63,000 damage now for Suljin. The Troll is starting to murder. He's absolutely starting to murder. And he is ripping them slowly apart. But there's also a huge attack coming towards the blue team's Immortal. And they need to stop this or at least slow it down, which they do. It's roughly a 30% shield as they claim the objective. And here's another comeback opportunity for the Gremlins, structurally speaking. It's going to the top side this time. Taking that fort down, that's a formality. Absolute formality. No chance of saving that. The question is what's happening around the keep. And of course, they have everybody on the map. There is a flank coming up though. Yeah. Nano is sniffing this out. Nano is not being caught off guard this time. He's like, yeah, I'm going to scout this one out. I'm going to be the one to have a look here, which means that the Immortal is, of course, doing damage completely uncontested, has gone through the fort like hot butter through cheese. And now there's the attack coming against the keep wall. 14 kills, 212. They're going to break through that. Can they take the keep? That's the bigger question. And it's not that easy for them. Especially with the red team being here now in full force. Misha gets absolutely popped within seconds. They're pushing them past the keep now, at least trying to. Nano jumps out. Suljin, does he get the attacks back up? Gets his axes out and is now sitting at 60 stacks nearly. But they couldn't get the keep. They got it low, but they couldn't take the entire time. So 86,000 damage now for Li Ming. 69,000, nice, for Suljin. Oh boy. One good fight for either team is all they need. Oh, the tactical pause. Exodia, Arsch auf Grundeis over here. Yeah, coming in and they're like, nah, it's like team meeting, boys, team meeting. What are we going to do here? Do we play it slow? Do we play it fast? Do we force a fight? How are we going to play this? Yeah, that's a 3-2-3 moment if I've ever seen one. So the red team pausing the game here at a pretty chill moment, to be fair to them. But let's see what they're going to do once that we're back into the action here. Because the last couple of minutes definitely were a bit better for the blue team. So allegedly, Porky disconnected for a moment. We'll believe them for now. But now that we're 24 minutes into this game, every single opportunity, every single fight, every single kill, of course, could decide the game in your favor. Yasu's just punching people out. How much damage does he actually have on Kerosene? 45,000! That's not too bad. Stukov, by the way, on 43,000. Rexa, 51k. Rexa has the same amount of damage that Greymane does. Same numbers here. But okay. They're trying for the next camp down at the bottom of the map. Suljin is not only top damage dealer for hero damage on his team, but also when it comes to siege damage. It's crazy, by the way, how much damage Tyrael has too. That's what I said earlier already, that Tyrael is going to be a big damage dealer for them. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. I mean, it's crazy. The two of them have essentially the same numbers. Nano is doing an amazing job on that Tyrael side laner. Works insanely well for them. So, this Immortal could be the last one. 25 minutes in, that bad boy is going to hit hard. And we'll see if this is going to be a close one or how the fights go. But there is a good chance that this is going to be the last objective. Either this or the next one is where it's usually sealed. But let's see. For now, we have obviously the red team a little bit ahead here with Li Ming. Dinos using Mirror Ball to get some initial damage on. Instantly Tyrael again getting aggressive. And they're trying to take Misha down early. They got Ensnare and then all that single target damage too. Suljin is dealing with the top side camp. That's always the bit of a problem that they have. That this camp needs to be dealt with. But they're doing that quickly. I would have dealt with that catapult too, to tell you the truth. I mean, we're now 26 minutes into this game, so these catapults, they hit hard, and there's a second one coming. So I'm not so sure that I would have just let that slide there. He's been using his guillotine for so much crap earlier, I wouldn't have minded him just using it there. And well, Suljin is dead! Suljin is gone! And Anna as well, so is Stukov. It's a quad kill, and that just has to be game. They kill 4 heroes. They try for Diablo. They want to make it a 5-man. Simply is able to get away for now. Gonna try and bait them in, but that basically sealed it right there. Huge play from Greymane. Quasar, we highlighted him early on already in his performance. And now he comes in, takes down Suljin, and they're absolutely wrecking the rest of the team a second later. I mean, what an immediate response here by Exodia. It's a tie in the series as they drop the core on Battlefield of Eternity and put the first point onto the board. Nicely done, the red team with a victory on BOEGG. Coming up next, we have game number 3 for you guys. Before we go, a big shout out to everybody that is supporting the channel on patreon.com/Khaldor. Really appreciate the support, guys. Thank you very, very much. If you want to support the channel, if you want to support our efforts to keep the Heroes of the Storm esports scene live with all of the events and tournaments that we're hosting, then please consider to check out patreon.com/Khaldor and support the channel there. It's the best way to support all of the things that we're currently doing for the scene and plan to do in the future. With that being said, enjoy the next game of the series. Game number 3, Brax's Holdout. Well, it was super close until it wasn't anymore. So it just flipped within 1 second, Greymane gets killed, they lose Tyrael, and then the entire thing turns against the Gremlin. So Exodia, they put a point onto the board, and now we're heading into Brax's Holdout. So, 20 heroes are unavailable because, well, they were played already, so they can't be played again. And we have, of course, these 18 down here eliminated for the entire tournament. So, let's see what we're getting for Brax's. Thrall should honestly be banned out as well. But it's a bit of a different situation right now, since we have, yeah, Still, I mean, it's a little bit of a different map, obviously. And yeah, Thrall gets banned. Okay. So Thrall gets eliminated. And then over on the side of Exodia. Let's see how this is going to play out here. I'm actually a little bit surprised. Because they have now first pick. I really thought they would let Thrall through and pick him if Exodia doesn't ban him. But they don't. Interesting. It was actually really interesting. So the Gremlins still ban Thrall. What do they want as first pick? I would have... They go Gul'dan instantly. I would have bet money that they are just letting Thrall through. And then either expect Exodia to ban him out or pick him themselves. But no, not so much. So we're getting Gul'dan as an early pick for Nano, which is a great pick, obviously, on Braxis. You need that wave clear. You need that wave clear for the bot lane, for the 4-man, but you also want it against the Zerg wave in all cases. So, yeah, Nano comes in, picks Gul'dan for the team. That leaves Maiev open, and she gets taken right away. So we have Deckard and Maiev claimed. Now, the interesting part here, and don't get too excited just yet, but we actually have Porky picking Maiev. Now, that doesn't mean anything. They can still swap heroes around. Maybe they have a few players just on a bathroom break. But if we get like a main tank Maiev, it's possible. Don't think it's necessarily going to happen, but it would be a bit crazy. So game 3, and we're getting ETC Tyrande for the Gremlins. But this is already an exciting one. Gul'dan in particular here, a super awesome pick for them. So yeah, really, really great pick for the Gremlins. Maiev will get a lot of wave clear in. You have mobile heroes on their end too. You could ETC stage dive if you wanted to, instead of mosh pit if you're trying to jump between the lanes now as well for the blue team. Malthael gets banned. Obviously, it's still a bit of a question what exactly Serath is going to play, who we expect on the top lane, and then Gavlo. But yeah, the series is going to be crazy. With this being a 1-1 now, we're guaranteed 5 maps. They already played some double support. We had multiple triple front lines. They're going to run out of so many roles, and it's going to be crazy. So, Cho'Gall gets banned. Don't want to deal with him. Totally understandable here. Especially with Malthael now taken away. That's one thing that you just don't want to risk. So, yeah, no Cho'Gall for Exodia here. And there is definitely a chance that they were thinking about it. You can, in this format specifically, really outdraft an opponent. We've seen it multiple times now. Mind games are a huge thing as you're progressing through a series. Artanis, they go for the liability, and we get Phoenix, channeling the power of StarCraft over here, and more specifically the power of Protoss. So Artanis, again, Artanis is, generally speaking, trash. But once that you get rid of half of the hero pool, you can see him every now and then give you a bit of value. So, right here, don't mind him at all. Top side, we could get some sweet swaps, and Dequaza has been killing it the entire day. So I don't doubt that he's going to bring in an A+ performance on Artanis too. Kira! First time that we're seeing Kira! Kira and Zul! It's getting wild over here. It's getting absolutely wild. We get our first Kira pick, and we have Zul. So, triple front line for them. We got Gul'dan. What's the final pick for Exodia? Who, again, do currently not have a technical main tank. Maiev main tank is what it looks right now. They could still take another main tank and then swap it over to Porky. But the final choice is Zarya. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Braxis Holder, game number 3 in the grand final of Meta Matters number 9. Let's go. It's a tie in the series. We have on the left, simply on ETC now for the blue team, Serath on Zul. Nano with Gul'dan, Pursuit of Flame as usual on level 1. Banana H is playing Tyrande, and we got Gavlo on Kira. Over on the right side, the Arsenal Synergy for Dino and Phoenix. Usually Planet Cracker that he loves to play over here. With Yasuo and Deckard Cain, Dequaza, an amateur opponent, playing Artanis. We got Hazu on Zarya, and Porky with the main tank Maiev. So, it's going to get interesting. What can the blue team now do? Losing game number 2, definitely not to their liking. It was a really hard fought battle though. I mean, damn, it went, what, 26 minutes deep? And then finally the elastic ripped apart and they were able to get the kills. Talking about getting kills, they're trying to get a kill against Rayquaza, and Artanis is doing what he does best. He dies. Even Rayquaza can't save the day in a situation like this. Now, obviously, Exodia is trying to take advantage of the fact that there are no heroes down at the bottom of the map with the exception of Gul'dan. So they get some structure damage in very, very quickly. Yeah, and Porky just trying to jump out. Azul is still holding on to the top lane and getting the team a bit of value on all of this. So, yeah. Sadath, he's the one holding the line for them. They are getting aggressive here. I mean, even trying to invade the camp that is about to be claimed by Exodia. So, Porky comes in with a quick tether. But that one kill that he got earlier and the presence at the top allowed them at least to take a small lead in experience. So good for them. They can do a little bit more with that, then hey. But it's camp for a camp right now. A couple of stacks coming in. Zarya with it together. We are strong on level 1. And now it's just all about the first set of beacons that is going to happen on the map in just a few seconds. Gavlo soloing the bot lane for now, as the next camp is also getting claimed by the Gremlins. It's just camp against camp and everybody trying to get access to the beacons with Kira holding on to the bot lane. Over here though, they're invading the camp and they're actually going to be able to claim this one, aren't they? Banana H has to let it go. Dies. Nanu dies. Exodia with the invade and the double kill. Well done. They try to swap Sadath into trouble, but he's able to get past the wall. Doesn't change the fact that the Gremlins just lost 2 of their heroes and also got 1 camp stolen away. So now mad pressure at the top and ooh, Exodia with big moves and the chance to maybe even get an objective here. They got 10% towards the beacon now. Ooh. Do I even have to say it? Do I even have to say it? I'm gonna leave it up to your imagination what my next words would have been. Down at the bottom of the map, Gavlo in a 1v1 against Maiev. So far, Kira is doing okay here. Gets another kick in. And they have control over the topside beacon, but the red team rotated down to the bottom of the map and was making it an even one. So, the leading experience has now gone over to Exodia. Structurally, they've also taken the lead. Haven't taken anything massive down yet, but they've done good damage at the topside fort. Nice attack against Maiev. Unfortunately for the blue team, they couldn't completely sync that up. 1v1 at the top lane might actually end up with Artanis grabbing them a second beacon. And now the progress is moving through. Blue team is trying to take it back, trying to get a kill as well. Maiev moving back out. Beacon control claimed for just a second. What about Maiev? Can they go in and get the kill on ETC? Yes, they can. But the shield from Zarya. And that's a kill against Kira. So now 4 kills to 2. They get Zul at the top. Rayquaza claims it. That's the first objective in the hands of Exodia. No other way to read this. They're going to get momentum here. Exodia is on their way to a big advantage in game number 3. They are able to get themselves level 7 and they will likely break through that bottom. Depends a bit on the damage output that we're getting from Gul'dan right now. He's still in play. Has 19 stacks here. Needs to, of course, to try and complete this quest without dying. That's as they're trying to shut Nano down. And he's gone. Nano is dead. Loses the stacks. They take down Tyrande too. Maiev is murdered. And that's disastrous right there. 7 kills to 3. Level 7 is on the board. It's a lead for Exodia in talents. They got the big Zerg wave. And they're just pushing the opponent back and taking them out one after another. So, yep, nicely done here. Exodia is on their way to a potential victory. Well, maybe we're jumping the shark here a little bit, but they're gaining momentum. It's a 1-level advantage and they're just taking a fort out. So this early in the game, that means a lot. Blue team has to recover. This can be a snowbally map once that you're starting to lose forts because you lose the fountains with them. But they could recover here. The problem is that also losing Gul'dan means... Ooh, nice. They take Artanis down. Problem is that Gavlo might still lose this one. Owl comes in. And Gavlo, he's gonna get killed. No, he makes it. What a Chad. Massive hero play by Gavlo. Now they're going for Dino, and Dino gets killed too. Dino gets killed, Kira falls, so does Gul'dan. Was it really worth it? Probably not. Well, they are taking down Deckard Cain, so all of a sudden we're looking at a 3-2-1 trade all in all. So I suppose worth it at the end of the day. 6 kills to 3. 6 kills to 9. So I don't know. We have another banger on our hands here. Oh boy, it's just wild. Such a wild one here. Gul'dan obviously dying now twice, 3 times is a problem. Has not completed his level 1 quest, and well, one of the recent patches changed the quest slightly. So now he's losing his stacks, similar to Kel'Thas with Convection. It's a little bit easier to complete, much easier to complete. But yeah, this makes this interesting. Now we have level 10 abilities, and Exodia just decides right away that they will, with heroic ability advantage, go for the boss and take it. And there's nothing that the Gremlins can really do to stop this. They want to take their own camp, which is a bit of a stretch, to be honest with you. And they're not able to claim it. It's getting stolen again. I mean, they're making some really bad decisions now. They were hoping to take it because they were afraid it would be claimed too. But without heroic abilities, you're essentially relying on your opponent to be slow on the boss, which they weren't. So now we have, again, a big advantage for them. They're trying to get another kill here. Can't get Gavlo. Ugh, but it hurts. This is now the second camp that gets stolen. The boss has been taken too. The second fort destroyed. They still don't have level 10 abilities, and the beacons are up, so there will be beacon progress. This is... the Gremlins are not doing themselves any favors with some of the decisions that they're making. They're still holding on to this, and they're getting a kill on my F, which is great. They have level 10 now, but they're likely losing another objective. In comes Zul with the Poison Nova. Hazu is low. Dino is low. Horrify is used. Dino is going to die, or should at least. Is he going to live? No way, right? Okay, he's gone. And Hazu is going to be eliminated too. They're taking Gul'dan down again, who still hasn't completed the level 1 quest. Banana is chasing Yazu, but should probably back off, because there are reinforcements coming, true. But we also have the Quasar down here. Yeah, Gavlo arrives. They stopped the objective, by the way. They're trying to now get a lead themselves. And they might actually be able to follow that up on the Quasar. If they can still get a kill here, that would be big. Gavlo has had some really nice plays with Kira. They got 10%, but at the top, Maiev has retaken. So it's 9 kills to 11. Kudos to the Gremlins. The Gremlins are playing such a weird game right now. On the one hand, they are following up on... I mean, they're behind. They force fights, win the fights, just come back in kills, and basically in experience. But then they are a talent down, make a weird decision, lose ground again. But they're always clawing themselves back into it, so it's actually pretty respectable. They're insanely resilient. They're essentially like a bunch of cockroaches that you can't kill. So, yeah. Gremlins, again, with another performance attempt here. 25,000 damage from Kira, who's, by the way, top damage in the game. Great Horrify. Great Horrify. But can they get a kill? And the answer seems to be no. Instead, ETC has now been eliminated. The ult from Kira wasn't enough to net them a kill. And there's a level 13 talent advantage for Exodia now that they are, of course, going to try and exploit. Great Poison Nova then again. And Yazu. Yazu, how is he still alive? Zarya is just keeping him alive. Now Zul has fallen and Tyrande dies. Exodia, the crusher of dreams here. Exodia is just crushing their dreams. It's brutal. The Gremlins have had so many cool fights where they are actually in a position to turn around the game, and then their hopes get eliminated by someone making some insane plays. The sustain through Zarya and Deckard Cain here was just crazy. They made sure that everybody survived the fight, and then the blue team slowly but steadily lost their heroes. And so once again, we're having a situation in which Exodia is getting a big objective and a huge Zerg wave, and we're now 10 minutes in. Yes, the Gremlins are going to get level 13, but they're going to have to defend against this, and it's going to be a tough one. Right now, we have 12 stacks for Gul'dan. I mean, maybe he's going to be able to get his quest completed eventually, but something has to happen for the blue team in order to finally give them a proper advantage in the game. And Gul'dan gets attacked, gets the Horrify out. They're trying to get the kill. And the Quasar is saved by Deckard Cain. Oh, boy. Yeah. Saved by Deckard Cain. They're trying to burn the objective down in R. The disc misses. They didn't lose a keep yet, but they're now 2 levels behind. They might go for the boss once that it's up. Boss is actually up now, so they might make a play for boss before level 16 is ready, but you can tell that they're trying to force a fight now. For good reason too. They want to take a battle before the opponent has level 16 talents. That's the big idea here. And thus far, they were not given a decent fight. Exodia is falling back, is not allowing that to happen. Here comes the tether on ETC, as Simply was hoping to engage the fight. There's the mosh pit! Can they do something with it? And the answer is no. They threw out the ult of Kira, but it's just not enough damage. So, right now, it's not looking too great. Once that the level 16 talent is in, they're gonna go for the boss again. Even before that. They're so close right now, and it's a 5 versus 4. So, this is the moment where they can get another boss. And the Gremlins, they just cannot get back into it. The gap is too big. 2 forts down, 2 levels behind, 1 talent behind. Another boss taken, at least this time, the 3rd time's the charm. This time, the camp is not taken away by them, from them. With level 16, the old man is hitting people with the stick again, going for the Horadric staff here. They're still throwing Hail Marys, though. And Deckard Cain is welcoming them with open arms. Telling them stories until their ears bleed. What about Maiev, though? Ult used, and she's alive as well. Maiev is alive. Salvo by... I never even mentioned it, but Salvo is taken by Dino. So oftentimes here you went Planet Cracker on the map. But in this case, going full Salvo, and of course it worked out well. But yeah, beacons are active in 24. They're trying to go for the boss. Good dodge from Nano. 23 stacks for him. Now he might actually complete this quest. But I don't think that's what changes the dynamic of the game. He's at 27. Closest he ever was here. Boss will not take that keep out, but can they really fight for the objective? It's a big question mark from my end. Don't think that's gonna be a thing here. So, yeah, 28 stacks now. Another camp about to be stolen. Can they... Yeah, Maiev is just jumping out over and over again. Gets the disc. There's the Horrify. Quest completed. And they get the kill on Maiev finally. But they're also in a bit of trouble. Can they take Dino down? That would be huge. And yes, they can. Big ult from Deckard Cain. Banana Age in trouble and gets eliminated. But they're still not guaranteed to win the fight because Deckard Cain is dead too. Deckard Cain is down. Nano is down. Artanis with value all of a sudden. Viable. Viable. Yeah, and the Quasar, he's trying to win them the fight and basically does as he drops Zul. But Gavlo has had enough of this shit. Wants the kills. Can he? Kira to the rescue. And the answer is no. 5-man team wipe. As the battle starts off well, they Quasar with a B-step. They came in and they're trying to take the bottom keep. 12 kills, 221. They Quasar just absolutely teabagging on them right now as Zarya goes for the beacon control. They Quasar crushing it. 30,000 damage for him. I knew that Artanis was useful once that you banned 40 heroes. Once that you get rid of half the hero pool, Artanis can actually accomplish something. Amazing. Fantastic. So, 12 kills to 21. And now, the blue team is just going to throw bodies at the problem from here on out. As they might. They lost the keep now. They haven't taken a fort down. So, yeah, Deckard Cain misses his ult completely this time. We got 53,000 damage from Kira, by the way. Easy top damage in the game. Massively ahead. So they're taking at the top. 84% of progress already. And they're so close to 20. 1 level is all they need. The red team, they are so far ahead now. We got 33 kills, by the way. Yeah, big tether from Maiev. The stun, the Horrify, and bye-bye. Maiev is gone.
And we say bye-bye.
The The Mosh Pit from Simply. Erst hatten sie kein Glück und dann kam auch noch Pech dazu. Oh boy, yeah, that was a dance party. Did not hit the target, but they're hitting Dino. And... for real? Yeah! Kira coming in and getting the big damage. I mean, Gablo's Kira is already... it's insane. They have a chance of winning the objective, by the way, but they also need to deal with the catapults on the core. If they turn this game around, do you know how insane that would be? If they are able to turn this game around, that would be bananas. So, Yasuo is trying to buy them a little bit of time. Couple of heroes are coming back now. He's moving to the top. Yasuo's trying to escape. Okay, so they're gonna get the objective. They're trying to take the camp here too. They're closing the experience gap. It's now at a level, and they're going for the boss as well. They want all the camps right now. They're getting massively greedy, and they need to be. You can't even blame them for that. They need to get greedy. It's the only way for them to get anywhere here. So they're going for the boss at the 16-minute mark. If they turn this around, that would just be utterly insane. Zul is using all the wave clear that he has at the bottom of the map to stop the objective, because again, the red team also got some decent progress. Sadath needs to make sure that he doesn't die here, that the wave is not easily dealt with. We already have a bit of damage done here. Wave at the top will break through some of it, I suppose, and at the bottom another fort is going to be eliminated. Guys, they are starting to close this. They are really starting to get to some progress. The bottom fort is going to fall for sure. That is not savable. At the top, they did a great job defending. They're going to hit level 20 talents now. But this is going to put us into a position where the blue team will eventually get to a point where they have 20 talents as well. And taking the boss here did not only give them the boss and therefore the fort at the bottom of the map, it also eliminated it as an option from the opponent's team. So they're retreating here quickly. They got to buy themselves a little bit of time here. So far, this is looking solid. They're going to get value out of this. And the only camps that can be taken now from Exodia is something that they're of course going to grab. They have the Unconquered Spirit here. We're seeing them with the Shadow Strike, Unyielding Defender, Orbital Bombardment, and Respect the Elderly. But I gotta say, the Gremlins, kudos. Getting to the point where they are right now, not easy. That was a big accomplishment in and of itself already. And they're gonna get to level 20 for the next objective. So this was huge. The advantage, structurally speaking, for Exodia is now one keep. One single keep. And experience, it's a bit hard to come by, granted. But they still get it here. They're playing it super safe right now. I mean, honestly, the call-in voice just has to be, whatever you do, do not die. Whatever else happens, do not die. So, the red team is obviously trying to push. They want that keep. They want to try and take it with the pressure. They want to also bait a fight. They want to get somebody to overextend. They're burning the minions down. They try to take the camps too. Once that there's nothing else that can soak the shots, the keep will defend itself. And they're getting this. So, there's 20. They're going to get 20 right now. The objective is up in 29 seconds. Plenty of time. So, the Gremlins can still turn this around, which is insane. Exodia was so far ahead. This is ridiculous. By now, we have Andaril's Visage, which is, of course, huge duration increase. I mean, all of this. And then on top of that, we got the power of the Horde here. And Kira is going for the utility belt. Gavlo has been crushing with Kira. Absolutely crushing. So, can they really turn this? This is their chance. Up to here, they've been in a real tricky spot. Now, they have opportunities. They're checking every single bush. Sending out the owls. Top side is being held. And they're slowly rotating in. Everything is checked. The entire time. Maiev is looking for the tether. Keep also in mind, we now have Haunt in. We had some fantastic ults from Nano. If you can do that again, great. And we'll see. I mean, at this point, they have at least a shot. And a big one at that, of course. So, yeah. In comes the hit. Simply following up. They're trying this one. They might just be able to get themselves a little bit of a lead. Kira flanking. Disc is out. Gavlo playing it slow. Playing it slow. Simply goes for the slide. Kira, still sitting in the shadows, going for Yasu, going for Deckard Cain, gets a couple of hits in, orbital bombardment already being used, they're trying in with a Poison Over, big Poison Over, huge one, hitting 3, big time, it's a mosh pit baby, and it's a double kill. They go for the big mosh, they get the double kill, and even Maiev is in trouble. Maiev in trouble, gets the shield and survives for now, but that's an objective that the Gremlins can take. They've been on the back foot the entire game, 2 levels behind, a talent behind, losing the objective, losing the boss multiple times, and now all of a sudden in the late game, they are able to go straight for it. Phoenix is dead. Get wrecked. They take the camp, and the Gremlins, out of nowhere, they were dead. They were absolutely dead. They have no right being where they are right now, but they still made it happen. They were dead and somehow came back into it. Huge fight from them. Exodia pushing, pressuring, time and time again. And now we have the mad objective at the bottom of the map. The boss taken at the 21-22 minute mark. And they're gonna go for gold and glory. Absolutely unbelievable. And we all know, every single one of us, that it's Atanis' fault. 18 kills to 21. They keep at the bottom of the map. No chance. Hot butter through cheese, baby. They're going straight through it, melting it away here. Phoenix is not back yet, and this is an attack that they just cannot stop. It's gonna be game right here, right now. This is unstoppable. They take it. Exodia, after such a game, after such a performance, it's the Gremlins that come in swinging, and they just take no prisoners today. Victory for the blue team. The Gremlins with the lead in the best of 7. GG, well played. Game number 4. Guys, I don't know what to tell you, but what an insane comeback. That was absolutely... They had no right winning this. The Gremlins, what an amazing performance by them. Absolutely incredible feat to turn that game around. They were basically 3 levels behind at some point. Gul'dan took ages to complete the level 1 because he kept getting killed. They lost several structures, keep at the bot lane, multiple team wipes against them, and they just held on, always got a couple of counter kills and turned the game around. Unbelievable. Exodia probably completely knackered here. Now we're going to game number 4, which means 30 heroes are banned out because they were played, 18 are out for the duration, and it's going to get even crazier from here on out. Just unbelievable. And to the Gremlins, I mean, kudos. What a performance there on Brax's holdout. That was wild. So, fantastic plays by the blue team. And, well, let's see if they can follow up on this. Exodia, certainly not happy with what went on in Game 3. Well, they were happy until they weren't. Because initially everything was going according to plan. But, yeah. And also, Gavlos Kira? Insane. I mean, absolutely insane. This was the first time we've seen Kira in the entire tournament. He picked her in Game 3. Not Game 5, 6, 7. Game 3. And he crushed, absolutely destroyed everything. Now Kerrigan is open. And that means that Dino is jumping straight for her. They banned out Abatha over Kerrigan. We're going to Garden of Terror. It's a big map. And we'll see how much of an impact Dino has with this now. Dino played Kerrigan in the previous series, and he actually struggled a bit. He died a lot when they took her on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Now we're going to Garden of Terror and up against a very different opponent. So we'll see what they can pull off. Whitemane plus Anubarak get locked in right away. And one of the big questions is obviously also what's going to happen in game number 5, game number 6 if it comes to it. Because I promise you, we are running out of supports. We are going to run out of them. We still have a couple of solid ones around. You could still go for your Morales at this point. But we are going to get to a point where you are playing this without supports. I mean, already we're seeing a Lily pick here. Lily Vikings. Okay, so. Lily Vikings. I mean, there is Lily Vikings could be a little bit tricky when it comes to also teamfights, of course, with her ult and the heal priorities, depending a bit on how they are playing that. But yeah, Lily as a support here. And it already gives you a bit of an idea of things to come. Because going into game number 5, we are most likely going to see them ban out some supports too and really just trying to force issues. So, let's see. Varian is being picked. Well, sorry, banned. Varian is banned. You don't want to have like some Varian taunt into a Kerrigan combo. And they're getting rid of Illidan, which also makes perfect sense. We see that quite a bit with Garden of Terror being a big map. Illidan having Hunt. So him getting taken away makes perfect sense for them. I am mega curious, though, what's now going to happen here. Like, really curious. Especially what Gavlo and Nano are going to take. What a series. Probius and Zeratul. Yeah, Probius is a hero that I could have seen from Exodia. They picked him a few times in the past. And with big impact, too. Especially, of course, on lane pushing. So now the Gremlins claiming it is nice for them. And Nano has actually played a decent amount of Probius in the past as well. So this is something that could be very dangerous for Exodia. And Zeratul, he can Viking Hunt. He can really play around them. So that's a solid, solid double pick. Going full OP Protoss here. As Jimmy gets taken and we have Mal'Ganis. So Jimmy and Mal'Ganis for Exodia now. Cocoon, obviously, also a tool that can be used against anyone here. Specifically Kerrigan in big team fights. Gavlo, usually more the X Factor, the one that plays the mobile stuff and tries to make the important plays for them. So what is he now going to choose for the team? I mean, it is game number 4. If you pull ahead with a 3-1 against Exodia, you're in a fantastic spot to win the tournament. What are we going to get? It's Chen. Chen is in the house. Anubarak, Chen, solid front line. It's a wild one. Ladies and gentlemen, game number 4. Can the Gremlins pull further ahead? Or are we going to see another tie as Exodia takes the victory? We're going to find out now. Garden of Terror. Game number 4, and we got the blue team spawning over on the left. The Gremlins with a 2-1 lead now. Simply the leader over here with Anubarak. We got Sadath on Zeratul, Nano on Probius, Gavlo on Chen, and Banana Age on Whitemane. Over on the right side, this is where Exodia is going to bring it in. We got Dequaza on the Vikings. It's not Hazorps. We're going to see Dequaza on them. We got Hazorps himself on Jimmy with Ace in the hole on level 1. Porky with Mal'Ganis, Dino on Kerrigan, and Yazu on Lily. So it is Panda time, and obviously also noteworthy that we have Ravage as the baseline quest now for Kerrigan. That's the big deal with the Pinnacle quest that we're going to get from here on out. So this is going to be the really, really important one. To complete, get the Ravage damage in. It's a big map. There's a lot of minion killing that you can do. Bit of a brutal start into the middle of the map with the typical 5 versus 5. I mean, not accounting for 2 of the Vikings that were moving to the side lanes, and Zeratul is already joining Eric up at the top, trying to get himself a couple of globes too to complete his level 1 quest as quickly as he can. Anubarak coming in with a legion of beetles on level 1, Probius with Echo Pulse. That's going to be the push power for them. So this should be big. This should be really, really big. If you can push with Probius and keep him safe, great. Just need to keep him away from Kerrigan as best as you can. Kerrigan is going to be the big problem for Probius. Probe doesn't really have too many hit points. If Kerrigan is on it, then she can do a lot. But initially, at least, what we can expect from Kerrigan is just rotating between lanes, focusing on minion killing to try and stack Ravage. Dino had a bit of a tough time the last time that he played Kerrigan, but he can obviously redeem himself here. Already a nice push at the bottom of the map. Probius enhanced and got the Inspire mechanic in too for the minion wave. And with Porky and Mal'Ganis, they are already eating some damage here and pushing this back. Jimmy with a quick ratatata as he's trying to push them away. But there's some damage on that wall, and they are getting 1 tower. So 1 tower is gone, the gate is essentially destroyed, and the second tower is low too, so it's already a successful opening for them. Chen sitting in the middle, and top side we have Sadath working on his globes, trying to complete Shadowhunter as quickly as they can. Level 4 is in, the first seed is up, usually ignored at least initially. It's typically something that teams are not going for right away. But yeah, Anubarak is already moving back towards the middle with the rest of them. Vikings by now on level 4 with Eric the Swift. So swift, so furious. And we get the Wind Serpent for Lily. Yeah, the pressure on supports, the pressure on healers is going to be real. And one of the things that I think in this context is also worth pointing out with our rule set is that we have Abathar still up, but Zarya, for example, was already taken. That's one of the heroes that oftentimes gets chosen later when there's no healers around anymore. But since they already picked her previously, that's not even an option any longer. So also something that could make for some crazy plays. If we are going to game 7, we will see multiple games without a healer. It's just the reality of it. So it's going full craziness. Gavlo is surviving on Chen. They get simply also out of it. Barely, I might add. And that's a lot of damage now coming. And they need some assistance. So Banana Age is coming in, healing them out. The wall has now completely been destroyed at the bottom of the map. Dequaza alone with the Vikings is not going to be able to handle Probius. So they will need to send some heroes down occasionally to try and push him back and push the lane out slightly. Kerrigan now with 41 stacks so far. Again, working it. Going straight in for the Fury of the Swarm after that, and then Kinetic Fulmination on level 4. Top side, I mean, all in all, it's a little bit of a slower approach right now. We haven't seen any big kills yet. They're always just moving around, trying to see if they can get a gank on somebody and have a chance to lock in an early kill, but nobody has really opened themselves up to that extent. The problem is really dealing with Probius at the bottom of the map, because as you can see here, there's an enormous amount of wave clear that Balog just can't deal with. And if they don't give any assistance to the bot lane, then Probius is going to take that fort out and will then likely move towards the top lane. So they're sending Mal'Ganis and Kerrigan down, but Probius is already starting to retreat, and Nano has done tons of work here. This is one of the big risks for Exodia now, that they're losing ground like this. Then again, they're also about to lose Hazu. Yeah, that should be the end of Jimmy, and it is. They will likely take that camp. Porky is slowing them down, but I don't think that he can stop them, and he might actually fall victim too. Lily is trying to help him here, but there's a bit of body blocking going on, and eventually Mal'Ganis dies. So that's 2 heroes down and a camp stolen. This is not good for the Exodia. Exodia has taken an enormous amount of damage at the bottom of the map, and then they lost a camp, and they lost 2 heroes in the process of trying to defend it. So this is bad news. The Siege Giants are taking one of the towers out, and the Gremlins have lots of momentum after their success in game number 3. And Probius is going to take that fort. Probius is going to take that fort for sure now. And just look what happens in experience here. The passive experience increase is now also going to be a thing. We have level 10 kicking in a moment. They can take the camps, and they can easily then rotate Probius to a different lane. And even at the top lane, yeah, Xerath is going to go die, but still, he's trying to take the wave down a bit. They get level 10 now. Might of the Nerazim is there. Good kill by Exodia, but structurally, they're losing maybe a little bit too much. So top side, this is where the push is now coming in. They're starting to push that back. Simply is not getting caught. They could keg. They could keg if they really needed to. Probius has to be a little bit careful here. I don't really think that Nano is going to go that deep, right? Might be worth it taking the wall down to limit vision. But yeah, you got to be very, very careful that you're not going to go all the way down there. Because if you try and pull that off, then they will dive you. Talking about diving, maybe Porky dove a bit too deep. Ult used by Lily. They cocoon Jimmy. They want him. Is anybody rotating up? They got Zeratul around, and it seems like they're trying to go for Kerrigan first, and they might be able to get that kill. That stun was on point, and that's the end of Kerrigan. Zeratul was able to move in and take Dainu down. Now they go for Hazo. That's 5 kills to 1. Guys, this is getting crazy. Probius is pushing for the freaking keep, and nobody's dealing with it. What we're seeing over here is a seed at least claimed by Dequaza, but that's a wall destroyed. The wall is gone, the gate is down, and both of the towers will fall here. It's 5 kills to 1, more than a level gap between them, and the keep is even taking a little bit of damage. Just a couple of hit points, but who cares? Probius, yeah, Nano will fall. But regardless, they are now in a position where they can take down the fort at the top lane because everybody had to rush down to the bottom of the map to save the keep. They are just playing around them right now. They're running circles around them here. And this is, I mean, this is a level 13 talent. They essentially have a 2-level gap. So they go for another kill, potentially. Nice ult, at least. He's able to keep himself alive, but guess what? There's another problem coming. Up at the top lane, Chen is pushing for the next keep wall. They are just rushing around them the entire time. Now Gavlo is probably going to have to kick out of this. Is trying to dodge what he can, but yeah, he needs to kick it up. There's no way to get away from this without using his ult. So he's going to kick out. Down at the bottom of the map, we get Siege Giants taken. The one thing kind of going for Exodia is that maybe they're able to apply pressure through Garden Terrors if they're going for the next seed now as well. But just the set of Siege Giants at the bottom of the map is already making that bot lane pressure towards the keep a bit annoying. So Zeratul is taking the minion wave out quickly. Pings are already happening. They're like, guys, we need to do something about it. They're sending Jimmy down, which means that there's obviously heroes missing on the rest of the map. It's a difficult one. 18,000 damage for Probius, 20,000 for Jimmy. We got 16k for the Panda. And now they're dealing with that top lane. The lead in experience continues, so they're maintaining the gap as best as they can. Chen is just taking everything out topside, grabs the waves, the experience. They have a mercenary camp that is pushing through it. The second seed is so far ignored. Zeratul runs into Carrigan and jumps out of the stun. And goes back in here. Dino obviously is still going for that baseline damage, for that Ravage damage. 119 stacks now. Nice swap. Porky got 2 good ults through already. At least keeping himself alive. The Panda. Panda's just being a pain. Gavlo with the big kicks. Time and time again. So 119 stacks now. Vikings have taken the second seat at the top. So this is applying at least objective pressure onto the Gremlins. Gremlins need to fight for the next one unless they are willing to deal with the Garden Terrors and just give this up. Lily gets cocooned out. They're still trying to go for the fight, and then they jump on it. Panda on panda action. Not a movie I would personally watch, to be honest with you, but hey, to each their own. And then they come in and they get 2 more kills. It's a triple kill right there. Level 16 talents now. The Gremlins are on an absolute tear at this point. Lily gets killed immediately, and then we have the follow-up kills that now lead to another fort that gets destroyed. Brutal. Absolutely brutal what the Gremlins are currently doing here to Exodia. Now, you should probably... To be absolutely fair, there's still that little caveat. If you remember the third map, it was essentially the reverse, and then the blue team still turned it around. So, the Gremlins shouldn't be complacent here. If you get complacent in a situation like this, you just give your opponent opportunities to bring it back. So they should really just still focus heavily. But they are in a great spot, let's just be honest here. Hazu dead again. Hazu down. And now they can maybe even go for Porky again. Porky! Yep, he gets killed too. That's now 10 kills to 2. 10 kills to 2. They got a seed that they can claim. Banana Age is on the channel. Lily is killed by Zeratul, who's trying to go for the Vikings. They now have a chance to go for the keep at the bottom. And even Carrigan gets killed in the middle. So they're now attacking 2 lanes at the same time. And Exodia is just getting rolled over here. Call them butter, cause they're on a roll. Gremlins with all the momentum in the world now as they are taking down 2 keeps. Keep in the middle. Inspired minion waves are just crushing through the structures with the help of the heroes. And this is going to be 2 keeps gone at the 11-minute mark. 11 minutes into the game and 2 of the keeps are destroyed. And a 3-level advantage. They're 3 levels ahead here. Oh, that's a toughie for Exodia. They went Vikings pretty much immediately here. They wanted the Viking draft, and it's just not playing out the way that they wanted to. So, 28,000 damage for Jimmy. 40,000 damage for Probius. 140,000 siege damage for that little fucker. And, yeah. Camp after camp is now being claimed. We got another seed up, and Simply is currently guarding it. But of course the catapult pressure is going to be immense now. There's not a single fort that got destroyed by Exodia, which means that we have catapults galore on the mid and the bot lane. Now we're only 12 minutes into the game, so they haven't really scaled that aggressively yet, but it's going to happen. if they can't take forts out, then they're going to have a hell of a time, even with the Vikings in the game, to just stop this somehow. Red team with 16 versus 16 talents wants to get the objective. They know that the Garden Terrors are one way for them to get back into it. So there's a chance. Lili with the ult. And, well, Mal'Ganis is still in trouble. They're kicking him away from all of this. Hyperion already used, but Mal'Ganis is dead. Dino's a little bit low, but he wants to kill. And Banana H goes down. Finally, another kill for Exodia. Hell, it was about time, but Kerrigan gets murdered. Kerrigan is dead too. They have to fall away from the seed. And now we even have the core under attack in just a few seconds. 2.5 level gap. Enubarak a little bit low. Simply is able to escape, though. They were trying to dive after Hazu. And they might still get him here. Jimmy is trying to get away, but the Panda is jumping in. Feet first. Fat Illidan showing no mercy. The final kill by Probius as the Protoss takes down the Terran. And now the core is open, and that's exactly what they're headed for. The Gremlins, after an insane comeback in game number 3, they're now using all of that momentum on the 4th map to try and extend that lead even further. Simply has to fall back a little bit. Lili is low, gets attacked. The core is at 79%. They might not be able to end the game here, but there's another seed spawning. Zeratul gets finally crushed. We could see a Gavlo Kek. He can still easily Kek this out, but thanks to the stun that we just got from Enubarak, they don't even have to use the ult. So the core is at 70% right now, and they can go for the Garden Terrors here. They can go for the seed, claim themselves some Garden Terrors, and that's exactly what they're going to do. The Kek to slow the red team down. Garden Terrors are in the house, but they are missing Zeratul. They're still missing Zeratul here, which is a bit of a problem. Now, the top keep will most likely fall, but of course we're also going to see the core attack if nobody deals with it. So if they lose the final keep here, then it's essentially going to be a slow and painful death that the red team is dying. And, well, Mal'Ganis is dying a much faster death here. Got just insta-stun locked by the team, and they are able to get that kill. So now the core is getting attacked by Garden Terrors. The top keep is indeed going to fall 100%, but I don't think it matters anymore, because the core is about to go down. 50%. They're still defending against the rest of the blue team, who now have level 20 talents, of course. But the Garden Terrors alone are already eliminating this. Down to 20%. Make it 10. That's the 3-1 lead in the best of 7 for the Gremlins. Nicely done. GG. Well played. Game number 5, Infernal Shrines, everyone. So now it's going to get wild on the support side. I can already tell you that much. We have our first match point in the series. And the Gremlins, I mean, they crushed Exodia on the last one. They went through them like hot butter through cheese. By the way, if you're watching this on YouTube talking about it, we actually have also hot butter through cheese merch and other stuff. So if you want to support the stream, there is a link in the description that you can check out, where you can get some of that stuff for yourself. So the meme is still very much alive and well, but obviously there's also a lot more there, especially when we're talking about that fruit fly merch. But either way, game number 5 right now. We get Abathar banned, and I would assume that another hero that's going to get banned right now is Morales, because if my calculation is correct, then Morales is the only healer that we still have, and that means that now nobody has a healer anymore. So Morales gets banned, interestingly enough, by Exodia. Okay, quite curious here. Maybe I missed one, because I totally expected that Morales would have to be banned by the Gremlins. Whichever team walks away with a healer and the other one doesn't have a healer is obviously at a severe disadvantage. And yes, there we go. Okay, Alexstrasza is being banned out. I wasn't quite sure if she was already played or not, but that now allows Thrall to be taken. So we have a game without any heals, and we have a Thrall first pick. Varian gets claimed, and I am very, very eager to see what's happening now. I mean, this is meta madness at its finest right now. We are having some crazy picks, crazy drafts. This is where it gets absolutely nuts, because there are no healers left anymore. Abathar has been banned out. Alexstrasza, Morales. Malthael comes in. It's all about who can out-damage whom, who's able to maybe sustain. Can you play around the opponent somehow? Can you do anything here? And yep, this is what the teams are now currently looking for. Thrall is going to be a huge tool for Exodia. They've been looking to grab him the entire time. The Gremlins banned him out over and over again, but given the circumstances around healers, they weren't just able to do that anymore. Especially once that Morales was banned out and like Straza still left. So they go for poison. They want that Lunara damage. And we have Sonya. If you get any kind of sustain right now, you are going to be in a good spot. So it's going to be wild. For Infernal Shrines, that Sonya pick is actually solid. You go for a bit of a spin to win build. You try to get all the sustain that you can with her. And you have a really nice shot here. Malthael, obviously, two ways. Dominant Soul is going to be nice. Last Rites as a finisher is also great. Valera gets actually banned. One of the few, if not the only hero that hasn't been played yet. And given the circumstances here, they're just nope. No Valera. Nobody that hunts us down individually and just gets the kills in. And for Exodia, this is obviously also one where they're like, okay, how are we dealing with this right now? They got Varian, they got Malthael, we're getting rid of Samuro. He can play the macro game too heavily, and we just don't want that. Nova obviously incoming any second right now. Probably not, but yeah. What's Garflo, for example, going to pick? Banana is going to be happy to an extent because he doesn't have to play a healer right now. He's obviously someone that is very good at playing damage dealers too. But in this case, there's nothing to heal anymore. It's all about damage. Take him out as quickly as you can, and it will change builds too. Alarak and Tychus. Okay. So, Tychus is in, and we get Alarak. It's going to be chaos. It's going to be so chaotic over here. That's going to be absolutely crazy. I mean, again, as I said before, Zarya has been played, so there's not even shields that he can play around with anymore. There's some talents that he can take eventually that will help you. Nazeebo and Mei. Yeah, they went for all the poison right now. Massive poison amount, and that's going to be difficult to handle. That's going to be very difficult to handle. They need quick kills. Blue team needs very, very quick kills. Long fights are not going to be good for them. Not with all that poison and damage over time that we're seeing on the right team, on the red team side. Exodia needs to win 3 in a row to make it. Illidan comes in, and that brings us to Infernal Shrines, everybody. So let's jump in straight away and see which team takes it here. Can the Gremlins win the tournament, or does Exodia get another chance? It's getting pretty mad in here. No healers left. Well, technically I suppose 2 were left, but they were both banned out. Now we got on the left side, simply on Varian, Gavlo is playing Illidan. We got Sadath on Malthael, Banana H on Alarak, and Nano on Tychus. Over on the right side, we have Crash Lightning. Crash Lightning for Thrall. Yeah, no Maelstrom for this one. No Pinnacle quest in this game. But instead, we're getting Crash Lightning. Dino with Lunara. Reformed AK Porky on Mayday. Quaz on Sonya. And Yasuo with a spider build on Nazeebo. Already attacks coming straight through the middle. Oh, it's gonna be wild. It's gonna be really, really wild here. Level 1, we get Overpower now for Varian. And I am mega, mega curious to see who's taking it. That damage over time is going to be a massive, massive pain. This is not going to be easy to deal with. That's for sure. Malthael is real quickly trying to take the camp, so he was already waiting for it to spawn. They're trying to set some camps up as quickly as they possibly can here. But the invade over on the left is happening. Banana a little bit low. So is Hazu though. And Banana makes it out. But what about Yasuo? Yasuo try to get away. And he gets killed by Illidan. 4 hit points. And then Illidan comes through and says, not on my watch, baby. And gets first blood in the game. Nicely done. That would have been quite the escape here. With 4 HP. Oh my god. Nano! And he's dead. Nano is dead, but Hazu! Yeah, Hazu is dead too. It's going to be insane. It's gonna be absolutely insane. Oh my god, this is gonna be nasty. So, yeah. Crash Lightning. So, he's losing a couple of stacks here too. Varian is going for Taunt. Even in this situation, there's no Wind Blades. Even here, it's all about the Taunt. And they're using it immediately against Yasuo. And guess what? He's not gonna make it. Yasuo is dead again. Serath is moving out. 3 kills to 1. Right here, right now. So, Porgy is able to get away. Still the camp up on the map. Illidan is already pushing at the top, and he is obviously a threat. There's a 1-level advantage currently for the Gremlins, and Illidan on the side lane is something that you don't really want to deal with. So they need to send someone over, and it's going to be the job of Sonya to deal with him as best as they can. The one thing that I think we can probably all agree on is that once that Nazeebo hits Viral Infection on level 20, the game's over. It would shock me. Absolutely shock me. If Nazeebo makes it to Viral Infection and the blue team still wins it. Maybe if Illidan absolutely pops off, but it's gonna be a big ask. So all that damage from Nazeebo after Viral Infection would probably just end the game right then and there. But will we get there? That's the question right now. That's a big question. And already, yeah, a couple of spiders coming in. They're poking this out slowly. Illidan, of course, is going to play a huge role in all of this. If he can push structures, if he can go into team fights later after a couple of forts are being destroyed, he can clean house. He has sustain. He has self-sustain that he can use. And it's Punisher time. So they're going for the Punishers right now, trying to take the first one. And the blue team is taking the initial lead. It's not a big one just yet, but they're working on it. Illidan is pushing the mid lane out a bit. We're gonna see so many heroes die here. It's gonna be a graveyard. They're coming in for Banana H. 110 sadism currently. Level 7 talent. They have the talent advantage. Illidan jumping in, out all over the place. Where's the taunt? Where's the taunt? There's the taunt and the follow-up as Sonya gets murdered. Sonya is dead. Thrall completes the level 4. Illidan is chasing them. He's chasing them hard and he gets the follow-up kill on Porky. They're getting closer to the objective, but it's 32 to 34. The spiders and all that damage over time. But they're getting not only the kills, they're also getting the Punisher. So for now at least, it's going well for the Gremlins. Right now, things are good. They got the talent advantage, they have the 1-level lead, they get the Punisher, it's an Arcane Punisher too, and they might even be able... Yeah, they have a shot for Nazeebo and they take him down. There is no margin for error. You don't have a healer. There's no healers left anymore. Healers are out. None of it. So right here, the attacks, they keep on coming, and the red team is losing ground. If they get Nazeebo to the late game, they will likely win it right then and there. If they can play slow fights and let the damage over time reign supreme, then they can do a lot. Level 10 for Lunara is going to be massive, by the way. Heroic abilities can easily turn the tides here. So, something to consider for sure. Porky is already dashing out with Mei. Has to be very cautious here. It's going to take quite some time, by the way, for both of the teams to be on level 10 abilities. The Gremlins are going to pick it up quickly and are going to try and exploit it. But for Exodia, they need time. They need time. So, they need a lot here. And once that Lunara can poke even more, I suppose she's going to go Thornwood Vines. Level 20 in particular is going to be massive for Exodia. But the Gremlins are trying to push this as quickly as they can. Very likely we'll get the Hunt. There would be more sustain with Metamorphosis, but Hunt gives you just way more options of isolated kills and also just global control. So that's exactly what they're going for here. Last Rites, by the way, Tormented Souls was an option. But they're going for Last Rites instead. Mei, yeah, they were trying to get sneaky here, but couldn't quite. And now with the rogue abilities, they're taking a few more camps and they can apply just a bit more pressure. There's already the Hunt! And that's exactly the kind of plays that they need to make. Just go for them right away. Hazu has been killed, I believe, 3 times now and is reset back to 0 with his level 1 quest right here. So, yeah, he's not getting a lot out of this. And they are about to lose a fort at the bottom of the net. They're not quite there yet. Another attack and taunt from Varian, but they're slowly falling back now. But half a level, we're going to have level 10 abilities. Half a level. All that's needed for them to at least pull even or draw even on heroic abilities. And Nazebo is now at 45 stacks. Slowly. Varian gets a kill. So 8 kills to 1. And the top control is still ongoing. Dequaza gets attacked here. And Illidan has to jump out. Is playing the safe game. And here we go. Sundering. It gets immediately used. Leap. And they went into the leaping strike with Alarak getting killed right away. No Thornwood Vines poke. Leaping strike instead. Hazops. Low. He's gonna die. But they're taking Tigers down. Last rights. And the double kill as Lunara gets murdered as well. Problem is, the spiders are taking out Varian. Yeah, all of a sudden, a few more kills for Exodia. They got 3 kills here. They were counter kills for sure, but it already shows the power of the damage over time, specifically when we're talking Nazebo. So Sadism lost for Alarak at this point. We have 18,000 damage for Lunara, 20,000 for Tigers. And let's not forget something here. First of all, we're expecting Sadas to get a lot of last right kills, so he will stack his base at his level 10 quest. But we have Master Assassin. Tigers is likely going to complete that level 4 quest. So at this point, we're having, inevitable end in play. The level 13 talent advantage for the blue team. But also lots and lots of damage over time here at the top. And time is something that they just don't have. There's the taunt, and bye. No way! No way! Okay, he hunts in to get the kill. Wasn't planning on it, I suppose, but hunts in, gets the kill. Dequaza is dead. The 3rd stack now for Malthael. Malthael with 3 stacks. Simply goes down, though. We have 17 kills already. 17 kills already. As we get a quick ice block here from Mei. Lunara has already moved towards the middle, and this is the 2nd Punisher for the Gremlins. The Gremlins need to hurry this up. Gremlins need to be aggressive on this, and they know it too. Late game will likely, not necessarily, but likely feature Exodia. So they are trying to apply pressure, take those forts out. This is going to be the first one that will fall. Punisher jumps in. Yeah, they could try and follow up on this. So far, not yet. Illidan dishing out more damage, but now he's the one on the chopping block. They haven't taken that the fort out yet. Working on it. They might... Yeah, they're getting it. Okay. So one fort is out. Still a 1 level gap. Down at the bottom of the map, they're pushing this out towards fort number 2, and they have a chance of taking this one. Varian is obviously going to try and hide and see if he can maybe tee up another kill for the team. Specifically, Malthael would love a few more last rights. He's already at a 15-second cooldown reduction. And if he is able to get the quest completed for the late game, it's going to be a massive asset for them. They're going for Simply. In comes the attack with another taunt. And another kill. Last right stack number 4 now for Malthael. Nicely done. 20-second cooldown reduction. The snowball to get Illidan off the point, and they take the camp. Nano gets killed, but so does Hazu. Lunara is also dead. Another taunt, and Porky is gone. 70 stacks for Nazebo. 1.5 level lead now. And we have 16 kills to 6. When it comes to the madness, it seems that the Gremlins are just a little bit more in the right mindset. Their comeback on Brax's holdout was what, in my opinion, already made or broke the entire game. And they were just insane. Brax's holdout. We had a game recently which I thought was the map of the year, but Brax's holdout might just have been better. That might honestly just have been the best game of the year, considering how that played out from start to finish. It was absolutely nasty, and after that the Gremlins were on a total high that they're still riding. They have level 16 talents now, which gives us the Blades of Azeroth. 2 forts have now been destroyed, so the passive experience gains they're getting up too. And over on the top right, here comes the hunt again. And the leap, and he is able to escape. Dequaza didn't hesitate and immediately jumped out. He knew that if he waited too long, last rights would kill him. But Nazebo gets caught and dropped. And we now have 130 sadism for Alarak, which is obviously a huge problem too. He's at 24,000 damage. Lunara's at 30,000. Nazebo at 26. Thrall at 26. It's Tychus, though, who has the top numbers here with 36,000 damage. And Thrall keeps dying. Thrall has died 5 times already. It's nap time for the old man. Hazu, it's bedtime. 19 kills to 6. 2-level advantage, and they're going for the next keep here. The late game that they need, it might not happen. It might not happen. Nazeebo's at 82 stacks. It's not insane, honestly. He's definitely trailing behind when he wants to go to the 175 that he needs for Vital Infection. But we have 19 kills to 6 now, and the gap in experience being widened. And just look at Tychus. Tychus is currently at 14 stacks. The Quasar has to use his leap over and over again to just simply jump out of the fights. Hasn't even been able to use it once as an actual engage tool. And now the next shrine is up. They have at least level 16 talents, so they can fight with even talents, and they will have to. That's the best shot that they had so far. Spider Colony on 16 now. We get Giant Slammer. And the follow-up with Thunderstorm after initially taking, again, Crash Lightning. Change quest at 0 stacks as a result of the deaths that we've seen for him. And as I said, Tychus is soon going to complete his quest. Which is going to be great for him, of course. An additional 15% attack speed bonus. So he's going to get more and more damage out. And with Odin in particular, that's just amazing. Cam's claimed at the bottom of the map they got 39 minion stacks. Obviously, they will take it. They're trying to time this a little bit to get it closer to level 20. But, yeah, for now, 101 stacks for Nazeebo. Can they somehow survive long enough? If they can survive long enough for Nazeebo to do his thing, we've seen insane comebacks in the tournament and in this series. There's, again, the play. Hunt on Illidan. Nice counterplay. I like this a lot. That was cool from the Quasar. That's what his leap is for. He's waiting for the hunt target and then jumps with leap on Illidan. Look at this play. That was sexy as hell. Immediate leap onto the target, saves it, and gets the Illidan kill. Now they can maybe shut that Punisher push down without it doing too much damage. But that was really well done by the Quasar. Very cute play, and it buys them a little bit of time. 19 kills, level 20, any moment right now, and it's gonna be awesome. So here comes the snowball straight onto Simply, starting to take him on. They dropped him over the wall. He's trying to escape, and he does not have a chance. Level 20 talents are ready. It might not even matter. They come in with Angel of Death, and they might have to use it. Where's that Angel of Death when you need it? Nobody in range that he can actually drop with it. Now he's going for Hazu. Has a chance there. The leap, not triggered. He's on cooldown. He's still on cooldown here. 4 stacks, but we get Thrall killed by Alarak this time. And he follows up. They go for Nazeebo, and he somehow makes it. Nazeebo actually makes it out of the fight. Damn. 119 stacks now for him. 119 stacks. So, 164 sadism. Oh my god. The sadism set that we have here is just crazy. So, by now, we got 20 to 9 on the kill count. Illidan is back. Tiger's still dead, so is Varian, but he'll be back in a moment. It's all about Nazeebo now. They might just be able to save themselves enough time. 38,000 damage for Lunara. And by now we have Varian on board. Tyke is about to return. And it's going to be bonkers. There's a trap already set. They set the trap. Keep in mind we now have Angel of Death right there. Getting the heal is kind of nice. But yeah, cooldown reduction. That's going to be a massive one for them from here on out. It's kind of funny, by the way, that Tychus has still not completed the quest. He was on 14 stacks for such a long time now. So, yeah. They're waiting for level 20. Look how passive Exodia is. They know that their one ticket into the game is Nazeebo. They have to stack him. They need to stack Nazeebo, and they're currently trying to get him some stacks. But at the same time, he will have to wait this out a bit. It's going to take him a while to get to 175, but it's definitely possible at the position that they're in right now. They're behind, but the gap was so much wider previously. And there is a chance to bring this back. And of course, the blue team knows it too. I mean, they are the kings of comebacks so far. Thrall nearly getting caught there, but is able to get out. 20 kills to 9. Shrine activating down at the bottom of the map in a couple of seconds. And the red team will get that level 20. But they will not have the stacks for Nazeebo if they're going that path. So, yeah, there it is. Talents are slowly starting to kick in. Flash Freeze is ready. Composite Spear is in play. They're dealing at the top with the camp to make sure that their keep is at least safe for now. But the initial start on the shrine goes to the Gremlins. Gremlins are taking the initial lead, and he doesn't go for it. Ooh, I really thought they would... Wow, that's a choice right there. Oh my god. I really expected them to play this out until they have Vile Affection. That is actually wild to me. Leap, Sundering, they go for the kills, they go for them quickly, but Nano survives. Sadath though. Sadath is dead, so is May on the other hand. And now in comes Lunara. They're getting the kills. Everybody just explodes over here. Massive explosion. And as the dust settles, the Gremlins lost the fight. As the dust settles, the Gremlins lost the fight. Alarak is still alive, has 172 sadism now. But this is going to be the first objective for the red team. They're gaining ground here. They're gaining ground now. Topside tower is going to be eliminated. Thrall is back. He's the only defender. He's not going to be able to stop this. Thrall alone is not cutting this. Sundering is out. Illidan can jump away now that they have a little bit of company with with Sonya saying hello, and Gavlo is dead. Gavlo's dead. Already too late. Leap and killed, and now Banana Age put himself in trouble, but he gets the kill. You gotta be joking. Banana, you beast! And he goes for nearly a double. Falls back as May is in the game, but holy hell. 23 kills to 13, 1 fort eliminated at the bottom of the map. And right here they can defend against the Punisher. Whoa, they went for the hasty bargain, and Alarak with some work there. He had 173 sadism, then he popped his hasty bargain and went back in for it. 52,000 damage now for our boy Tychus. It is still a bit crazy to me that they didn't go Vile Infection. I mean, honestly, I don't really know. Am I wrong here? They will get it soon. So that would have been a huge opportunity, I think. There's no way you can deal with that damage output. Nazebo is dead. Leap out of the fight. Where's the hunt when you need it? Well, for now they're going for Porky, and May is gone again. 25 kills to 13. 20 minutes in. Oh my god. Yeah, and they're still moving towards the top. They can go for the keep there. Illidan is back. And they just killed 2 heroes. That keeps gone. They even go big red button. Sundering is out. Instantly they're jumping onto Thrall. Last rites. Bye-bye, baby. Bye-bye. Fully stacked last rites. That cooldown is non-existent. It's ridiculous. Lunara goes down too. This might just be it. This might just be it. Only Sonya. There's no way. There is no way. They're Gremlins. What a tournament by them. They made it to the winner bracket. To the winner bracket final. Straight into the grand final. And they finish it off with a 5-man team wipe. The Gremlins are the Meta Madness number 9 champion as they take down Exodia in an awesome best of 7 series. Infernal Shrines, the final map. Congratulations. What an effort.